I'm Chuck Norris. My new film is Hero and the Terror, and I would recommend you watch Hot Seat.
Hot Seat is made possible in part by the following. C.A. Crerar, whose promotional materials remind you to wrap that rascal, and Photon Factory Productions.
And now, our feature presentation.
Orchestrated piece by John Szyslansky called A Fanfare to Dukakis. And here, I'll hum a few bars.
This is the Reverend Earl. Some of the dopers and hippies that call Hot Seat are on drugs. Let the Christian beware.
Good evening. No, this isn't an ad for a soap commercial. You have just tuned into Hot Seat with our host, Mr. Carroll Sudler. I'm Toots, and I'm here to give you your tease for the week. But before I get to the tease, I'd like to give a few remarks to those gentlemen who called last week to give me my reports on my stately figure. Down. There was a report done by a Southwestern University, very prominent, about animal and human behavior. It stated that those that have a need to ridicule others usually suffer from very bad self-esteem and a low integrity. All right, you've had it. Down. No more. Very low self-esteem and usually are not up in the IQ factors of the normal. Okay, now on for our teeth. No more. And since it is Sunday, I thought I'd bring you something a little bit spiritual. Descendants of Jesus are living in Japan. A Japanese garlic farmer is the direct descendant of Jesus, who died at the age of 106 after escaping the Romans. The village of Shingo is where this takes place, and there's more. Apparently, Jesus met and married a Japanese woman named Yumiko and fathered 3 daughters. Jesus was there at the age of 21 to study theology, but left because of the thought of crucifixion. The man, called Toiji, says, I have my doubts about being Jesus' descendant. Scrolls were found in this man's farm on the premises about 1935, supposedly proving this tale. Even though Jesus is said to be buried on his farm, he is only interested in growing garlic. Now, for the rest of our show, and here's Mr. Carroll Sudler.
Well, thank you, Toots. How very kind. By the way, a very nice towel you're wearing this evening. We may have to send our wardrobing department out to adjust that and get something a little more appropriate, perhaps, for the air. But I did like it. And whoever it was that tried to pull it off was obviously a swine. Speaking of religious matters, we're once again written to by the great Reverend Ernest Angley, the man whom you know says, "He-oh, boo." Well, he's written us, and this week I've learned something new. There has never been such an hour of demonic powers on planet Earth as right now. It's a mighty takeover by the spirit of the Antichrist. So many human beings around us are devil-possessed. Like you. It says here, send me the names of your loved ones who are bound with demonic powers. Goes on to say, God knows you want to help me reach all of the devil-possessed. Give, here's the key word, give of your finances in the spirit of Jesus. All that you send to this Jesus ministry will be used for Him. Send your tithes and offerings where all will be used for His work. You mean so much to me, partner. You are greatly loved, Ernest Angley. Well, I don't like being loved by other men. Thank you, Ernest. Anyway, he's a boob. We also were written to by something, this is scary, the NAAWP, the National something or other for the advancement of, I don't even know, of white people. This is scary. Here are some of their goals. This comes out of New Orleans, by the way. Isn't that a surprise? Owned by, I understand from my guest, who we'll talk about in just a minute, a guy named David Duke. Thank you. Equal rights for whites. I thought we already had this. No more immigration. That's great. An end to race hatred in media. Preservation of the white race and heritage. Excellence in all things. Well, anyway, this guy's a nut. If you get any of these in your mailbox, Let your conscience tell you what to do. Our guest tonight, if you had a chance to look at Tampa Bay magazine this week, month, that's it. It's done on a monthly basis. There's an article mentioning the man, and it says here, after arriving in Tampa Bay 3 years ago from a 5-year stay in Miami, he spent 2 years at WPLP and then joined WFLA, where he says his preparation for his controversial noon to 3 p.m. show is a mixture. But we're going to find out. We're going to let you talk to him, because the guy is a big hitter, a superstar on the radio, and one you will definitely recognize. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Good evening and welcome back. I'm your host, Carroll Sudler, this week for another edition of Hot Seat. Tonight I'm pleased to present our guest, Mr. Bob Lassiter of 970 WFLA Radio. He can be heard currently from noon to 3 p.m. weekdays, and also I understand on Saturdays from at the same time, but it's not live. It's
No, it's not live.
A bit of a best of.
Well, and then sometimes it doesn't show up at exactly the same time, but it's close. It's close. Close enough for a Saturday.
Now, I understand, and it's true, there's probably no one around here who's never heard of you. You've got quite a reputation. You're a controversial kind of guy, but you're also very, very quick and clever, and I think that's what makes it work. That's what makes it fun. How long have you been in the radio business?
It'll be 18 years September the 1st.
And do you want to stay in radio?
Do I want to stay in radio? I haven't the biggest idea. I'm only doing this until my regular line of work opens up, but I haven't decided what that is yet.
And you have very high ratings, do I understand. What do you attribute this to?
I haven't the vaguest idea. I honestly and truly do not know.
It just happens.
It just happens.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do what you do on your show and take a call and say, hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Good evening, Carol. This is the Reverend Earl. How are you doing this evening?
Just fine, Reverend Earl. How are you?
Carol, I heard a rumor last night at the Chatterbox Lounge that you might be entertaining Mephistopheles himself on your show this evening. And now I see it's true. Son, whoever's responsible for booking your guests, fire them. It's obvious that they're worshippers of the beast himself, who just happens to be sitting across from you right now. Bob Lassiter, I notice how closely that resembles the beast of Lucifer. You're a self-proclaimed atheist, and every day try to drag more people out of the hell.
Caller, I beg to differ with you. I am not a self-proclaimed atheist.
Son, I've heard you badmouth the Bible every day, say that there is no God,
Well,
and that God doesn't...
what, sir, does the Bible have to do with God?
Sir, the Bible is the Word of God. Obviously, you don't know what the hell
that, sir,
you're
is what
talking
you
about.
say. I, sir, would say that you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Son, are you blaspheming the man of God?
I didn't know that was possible to do.
Well, obviously, you're doing it now.
I thought only
think you
God
should
could
be
be
taken off the air and hung as a heretic.
Yeah, do you have a question, perhaps, for Bob Lassiter?
I have nothing to say to that man because he has nothing valuable to say to me. Everything that comes out of the mouth of the serpent is nothing but lies.
I see. So, in essence, you're done with your call.
I'm done. I'm going to vomit now, Carol.
Thank you. And have a nice day.
I see that we share many of the same callers.
Yes, I think we do, in fact. Let's see if this one's just as fun. Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Yes, I don't know if I can top this one. Bob, since you left what used to be WPLP, that station, I noticed, has, in my opinion, gone straight to hell. Their talk shows They just seem to be as interesting as a flat mug of beer. Could you explain to me, Bob, why that happened, especially since they're so low in the ratings?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think they're going to be able to get advertisers?
I haven't the biggest idea how they're going to get advertisers. Their main problem at this point of the game seems to be getting listeners. Why did it happen? It happened primarily because the station changed ownership. And the people who purchased that station have a totally different philosophy than the people who previously owned it or the people who own my station. And their philosophy is we want to be everybody's friend. We don't want to offend anyone. We don't want to challenge anyone. We just want happy listeners. That might work in a smaller market where you do not have competition. It simply doesn't work here.
Oh, and now, Bob, I know that in the past, people used to boycott your advertisers because you had a controversial show. Do you think there's any way that listeners like me can boycott sponsors of a station because it is not controversial?
No, you wouldn't want to do that. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not proper. And by the way, concerning people who boycott the sponsors of my program, nothing could be further from the truth. We're talking about primarily people sitting in Lutz, people sitting in Odessa, people sitting in Fruit City, who will spend their weekly allowance of $2 on the phone making telephone calls to places like Burn's Steakhouse saying, "I'll never eat there again."
And so what we have here, but now your popularity has gotten just absolutely enormous. You're in a big magazine. You've had countless articles on you and all the
big magazine.
Yeah, so look how big it is. It's about
very big. Well, it's about that thick.
Yeah, and it's good stuff. So obviously you're doing the right thing, and I think the kind of controversy you do is actually fun. I think it's rather healthy. You're not there to upset anyone, or are you?
Well, I don't know that I'm doing anything that's controversial. It might be perceived as being controversial,
sure.
But I believe I'm a relatively reasonable man. I just have a very sharp way of saying things.
Yeah. Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Hi, Carol. It's Lucius. How are you?
Fine, Lucius. How are you?
Oh, super. Listen, I missed you last week. I didn't get to talk to you on the show.
Yes, we missed you too, Lucius.
Well, it's great to see Bob. Bob, I just have a comment to say. Was that supposed to be a crack about that Fruit City?
No, there is a place called Fruit City.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with it. I just thought maybe
You're not.
poking fun of us.
Mercy.
Bob, I love your show, and I think it's very controversial, but yet so am I, and I think it's so interesting.
Why are you controversial?
Well, people say, I don't think I am, but people say I am. Carol keeps telling me every time I'm on the show or talk to him.
Carol didn't. I've talked with Carol now for almost an hour, and he not once mentioned your name.
Are you trying to make fun of me, Bob?
Not at all.
Well, I was listening to Liz Richards right before I called you.
Uh-huh.
And she had a couple of things to say about you, little pet names.
Well, like what?
Well, Bob Lassiter and things like that.
Did that make you happy?
Well, kind of. It kind of turns me on in a certain way.
Did it give you goosebumps?
It does. I love a man with beard.
I'll bet you do.
I do. Well, it's good talking to you, Bob, and you're very sexy. But trim that beard because you know it can get caught in it.
Thank you, Lucius, for enlightening us as you always do.
You have very, very bizarre callers
Isn't
on this
that
program.
true? Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live. Just fine. Speak up a bit, sir, if you would.
I think it's someone with my telephone, but I'm not sure. This man has no craft whatsoever. If we compare him to the man you had from the FM channel here a couple weeks ago, this guy right here, sitting across from me, he's a blob, you know? I mean, he's on AM. I mean, everybody listens to FM.
Sir, I have the second highest rated show amongst men 25 to 54 in the market.
Is that right?
That's right.
Are they all niggers?
No, actually, most of them are white.
Okay. Well,
you have a problem with niggers?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a problem with niggers?
Oh, no. You look like one with that beard.
I see you do have a problem. You have an inferiority complex, apparently.
Have a good night.
Thank you for your call.
Well, we must have struck a chord.
Yes, obviously. It hit you right at home where it belongs. Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
I'm a hot skeet now?
Yes, you are.
Hi, Bob. This is Smeg in Tampa. How you doing?
Doing fine, Smeg. How are you?
Good. I was just calling to find out how you felt about sperm on mashed potatoes.
I've not tried it.
How about sperm on a stick?
All right,
I've not tried that either.
I have to let you go because obviously it's very topical and something we all are wondering about. So on that note, we'll do you a favor. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be taking more of your live calls, talking with Bob Lassiter, who is incredibly high ratings because he's good. As simple as that. We'll take more of your calls talking with Bob, so stick with us.
Have you made condoms part of your sex life? Condoms can protect you and your partner from sexually transmitted diseases, including the virus that causes AIDS. But many condoms do not come with full instructions. Call the GMHC hotline for the complete condom guide for women and men, because unless you follow certain guidelines, condoms may be no help at all. Every woman and man can learn to use condoms to prevent AIDS. Get the guide. Protect yourself.
Are you really tired of beautiful music and fluffy little clouds?
Then tell the world about it with your Hot Seat bumper sticker.
Send a stamped self-addressed envelope to Bumper Sticker, care of Hot Seat, P.O. Box 3225, Tampa 33601.
You'll love it.
Now he says, because the leadership put the whip to him, the hell with
Hot Seat is brought to you on Jones Intercable, Channel 12.
Seen in New York City on Paragon Cable and in Tampa Bay.
Due to the nuts and kooks that call Hot Seat, viewer discretion is advised.
Live from Tampa, you're watching that fancy pants show, Hot Seat. Damn it.
Okay, welcome back to Hot Seat. I'm Carroll Sudler. My guest tonight is Mr. Bob Lassiter, who, by the way, those of you up north who can't get his radio show, you're missing out a great deal. The guy's clever as hell, a lot of fun, and we're glad to have him on. By the way, I'll also throw up our address, because many people have been calling the cable systems wondering how to get in touch with us. Send us letter bombs, things of this nature that we're certainly good. Baskets of fruit, money, things like that. So we encourage you to write. Anything that's on your mind, we'll also read it on the air as long as it's in English. That's really all we ask for. Meantime, we'll go to the phones and say, hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Yeah, I just wanted to say hello to Bob.
Well, hi there.
Hey, Bob, I listen to your show every day. I work, and I'm in and out of a truck, so I never have time to call you, but these nuts and quacks are always cracking about you. They don't know what they're talking about. You're a real intelligent person. Have you ever done any DJ work?
Well, that's actually what I did for about the first 17 years I was in the business.
Do you know? Are you familiar with Hank Struzik?
No, I'm not.
Hank was a relative to the family for a while. I had an aunt that worked at 97 before they even became TalkNet at all. And I was just curious, you sounded like you'd be a pretty good DJ.
Actually, I was a terrible disc jockey. I was a failure in this business until I got into talk.
Really? I mean, you've got that DJ, that deep-tone DJ voice. It's kind of like a man that was here a few years ago on 98 Rock. His name is Chris Taylor, and he's got a voice similar to yours, and it just sounds great to me.
Well, the business has changed a lot, and in the last 5, even 10 years, to have a voice like I have is actually a detriment in the business.
Really? Were they looking for somebody with an outgoing attitude and a high-pitched voice or something?
Well, perhaps the outgoing attitude. No, they're looking for people who do not have distinctive voices so that they become interchangeable modules. If something happens to them, no one notices they're gone.
Right. Well, Bob, I just would like to say again, I love your show. You're a fabulous, intelligent person, and I just keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your call, sir. Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Hello, Mr. Sudler. How are you doing?
Just fine. How are you?
This is Mr. Goldstein. How are you this evening?
Very well.
I have a question for Bob Lassiter.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Well, Bob, I figure it's that, you're that famous paper fancy pants son of a gun. I figured you would know where I can pick up a kosher Cuban sandwich around here in this town.
A kosher Cuban sandwich? Well, first of all, I'm not really a fancy pants. I just kind of got dressed for the occasion. I normally
You
work...
look slick, I might add.
Well, thank you very much.
And get in the movie, son of a gun. Talk to me after the show.
Well, I will. But on the kosher Cuban sandwich, I'm afraid I can't help.
Carol, I don't know. I know you don't know what the hell they are.
Oh, yes, I do, actually. There's a place...
Well, then tell me, damn it.
There's a place in St. Petersburg. No, actually, there's a place on Howard and Swan. Howard Morrison, rather.
And what is the name?
I don't know the name, but I can't plug them either. But I will plug
Jewish people
you.
live in that neighborhood?
Don't know. Apparently,
No, we
yes, there's
don't.
actually a synagogue of sorts on Swan Avenue, right around the corner.
That's the Temple Bethel. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, getting back to you, Bob. Oh, Lord. This is a great deal, a great radio station. Now, you're under new management, and I understand from Dick Norman there are a bunch of...
Who?
Dick Norman. Norman. Cleans up around the place before you go on.
Ah, yeah, Norman, right.
And that you got some good management. Is it more fun for you now?
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot more fun. The reason it's more fun for me is because it's more fun for the other people. Previous management didn't bother me that much. We had our hassles, but in terms of my actual 3 hours a day, no, there was never any grief. But it's more fun because other people are more relaxed.
For those of you who want a good laugh, you need to tune into his show. You can catch it on 970 a.m. from noon to 3 every weekday, including on Saturdays, too.
A good laugh?
Yeah, or a week, depending on what mood you're in.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go to the phone on that one and say, hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Yeah, I got a question for Bob.
Yes, sir.
Looking at that beard, Bob, I'm wondering how much pussy did you shoot?
Sir, you've been naughty. For that, I have to tell you, you're a swine, a blackguard, a poltroon, a churl, a dolt, a cad, a charlatan, a meretrix, and a Paphian, not to mention a swine again.
Look, I just wanted to come over and lick my beard.
I know, but we can't permit that on these family airwaves.
Oh.
Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
It's Carol.
Yes, sir.
Why do you have a woman's name?
I don't. It's the last name if you look at the
Because you're a wimp.
I see. And you're obviously uneducated and don't know anything about family names. Going to the phone again and saying, hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Yeah, how you doing? I got a question for Bob. You said you've been a failure in this business. How long? For 17 years? Or you just all of a sudden came to stardom?
Well, as a
You still look like a failure.
Well, you may think so, sir, but I'd be delighted to show you my paycheck, and you can make that determination
Oh,
for
so now
yourself.
you're egotistical because you make some kind of, what, $300 a day or something?
It's in that neighborhood, yeah.
That's wealthy?
Wealthy?
I mean, is that good or bad or what? I don't know what
say,
schmuck's making this business.
I would say, sir, that a schmuck like yourself probably doesn't make that in a week.
You think so?
Touché.
No, I mean, I might not.
Well, sir, you're the one who has nothing better to do than to sit home at
Watch this show?
6:25 and watch this program, yes.
So now you're criticizing Carroll's show.
And listen to my program, too, I might point out. How long have you been unemployed?
I've never been unemployed. I've never had a job. I don't need one.
You have a job that doesn't even require you to pay attention so that you can listen to my program?
I've never listened to your program.
If you've never listened to my program, then how could you possibly say unkind things about it?
That's a good point.
I haven't made an unkind comment. I just said that you've said yourself you're a failure for 17 years, and now you've destroyed them with your show.
I can well understand why you have difficulty holding a job. You don't seem to be able to follow instructions or even a conversation. That's not what I said at all.
But what if I don't need a job because I have a healthy trust fund that pays for everything? Thank you and have a nice day.
Yes, thank you. Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Hey, Bob, I'd like to tell you that you have a great show, and I'm another one of these people that, drives for a living, and I don't have a chance to really call into your show. I'd like to say one thing as far as the weekend show, the way it's taped. Do we call that You Can't Chat with Bob?
Well, you could call it You Can't Chat with Bob. There are many things you could call it. I'm planning on calling the guy that owns the station pretty soon if they don't stop doing that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your show, and can I say one thing in jest?
Sure.
Get off my TV, you jerk.
Whoa.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for your call. Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Yeah, I got something to say to Bob.
I'm sure you do. I'm not even going to say anything about that because... Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Yeah, can I speak with Bob?
Yes, be nice.
Yes, you may chat with Bob.
Oh, no, this ain't chat with Bob. That was last Wednesday. Bob, you really look intelligent. You look a lot more intelligent than I hear you on the radio. I've never seen you in person, and I don't know why people call you a fat...
I knew what you were going to say. You're gone. Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live. Hello.
Isn't it amazing how you develop an additional sense in this business?
An intuition. Hello, you're on the air live. Hello, you're on the air live. I'm having troubles here. Our whole board is lit up.
That I have?
I think it's going to crash in a minute. This happens when the phone... There you go. Are you there?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to say Bob.
Okay,
Oh,
say
you
Bob.
did. You
Say
did.
Bob.
Bob, you're one of those leftovers from the Chicago hippie days, aren't you? You're one of those hippies. You hung around with Abby Hoffman and Jerry Rubin, weren't you?
Well, no, actually, I've only been in Chicago once in my life, and it was
You
in
were kind of left over
1963.
government back then. You're nothing but, you know what? You're a rebel. You're a hippie left over in disguise. You're like the caucus trying to fool the country.
What's wrong with a hippie?
You guys were trying to overthrow the government back then. You and Jerry Rubin and Abby Hoffman.
Well, no, I've never met either gentleman.
You're a hippie, you're a rebel.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. You sir sound like a redneck and a moron.
Thank you for your call. We really appreciated it. Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Yeah, can I speak to Bob?
Certainly, sir.
Hey, Bob, by chance, is Richie in the audience?
Well, I don't know that he's in the audience, but I did speak with him earlier before the show.
Okay, you are familiar with Richie and his TV show?
Familiar with Richie? I would never miss the program.
You do watch his program? You think No, not at all? Well, see, he had a lot of trouble a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just trying to get everybody to get on watching it again. Richie's got a great show, and I know he calls you every once in a while, just familiar, seeing if you were familiar with him at all.
He is.
I enjoy the painting that he's been doing of late on that program.
Yes, and the chocolate-covered bunny. Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Yes, I'd just like to tell Bob that I used to listen to your show at work because of the type of work I did. I got promoted. I can't listen anymore. They still listen in that department, though, because they got used to hearing the radio while it was on. I just wanted to tell you that here in Tampa, I'm a little nervous with so many hicks around. It's nice to know that someone like yourself is speaking on the radio every day and that so many people do listen. If just a few change, I'll feel a little safer.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, bye.
Again, for those of you who don't know, you can catch him noon to 3, 970 WFLA radio on your AM dial. A nice, clean, strong signal, by the way. A big hitter radio station. Good one to listen to. And a hell of a good guest, by the way. I think we have time to squeeze in one more quick call.
Oh, goody.
Do we have time? We do. No. You won't believe what they're telling you, so I won't repeat it. Anyway, getting back to you, Bob, we have some horrific there we go. Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live. They just gave me the go-ahead.
Yeah, I just kind of got over this guy with
that was the problem. Turn your television. There's a little knob that says volume on it.
Wait, here's a little knob I'd like to turn.
Do you have a question, sir?
Can I turn this little knob? Oh, honey. Oh, never mind. I'm busy now. Oh, honey. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you for calling and sharing that with us.
I have no idea what was going on.
I can't imagine.
Things like that don't go on my program.
Playing cards, When you do your show now, do you have to prepare a great deal, or do you just go in and wing it?
Depends on what kind of show I'm doing. It's not out of the question to do 3, 4, or 5 hours of preparation, nor is it out of the question to walk in and sit down and wing it.
So I suspect you have to sit and probably read all the newspapers you can get a hold of and sort of familiarize yourself, so when the callers call in and say, well, I saw this and whatever, hopefully you'll have a little knowledge of what it's about.
But I would do that anyway.
Yeah. Well, you like to be informed.
I've always been a current events freak.
That's good. That's important, especially in your business. Hello, you're on Hot Seat Live.
Hey, Carol, how you doing?
It's fine, sir.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
I thought we're going to start up the Freddie Merch fan club. I want to name you as the president.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm busy that night.
Hey, listen, I have a serious question, though. Do you ever fear of maybe one of these wackos that call up your show being outside the station one day with a gun or something like the guy happened in Denver?
Do I have a fear of it? No, I have reason not to because there are security measures.
I'll tell you what, Bob, we've run out of time. Thanks for coming on. Bob Lassiter, everyone. Tune in next week. Here's what's coming up.
Feeling caged in? Want to break out? Then join us for Hot Seat next week. Let's take a look. That's Hot Seat next week. Same hot channel, same hot time.
You say either and I say either. You say neither and I say neither. Either, either, neither, neither. Let's call the whole thing off. You like potato and I like potato. You like tomato and I like tomato. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Oh, let's call the whole thing off. But oh, if we call the whole thing off, then we must part. And oh, if we ever part, then that would break my heart. So if you wear pajamas and I wear pajamas, I'll wear pajamas and give up pajamas. For we know we need each other, so we better call the calling off. Let's call the whole thing